Part 4 Ending of the Aisle. Going down the path. All other parts down below. I spoke with the young ones last night and they were going somewhere and would or couldn't say where. John's, I suspect. They also said that the dog was left at home. They all knew that I wouldn't be there this weekend. I hope she put the dog in a kennel but most likely left it in its cage. I spoke with both kids this morning and they were at John's. They didn't seem like they could talk to me. Maybe John was standing there and they didn't know what to say. She is acting like a 18-year-old girl in high school and will stop at nothing to find her own version of happiness. While she is acting this way, she feels the need to still control me and what I do. Unfortunately, she doesn't get to file for divorce, have multiple affair partners in my marriage, and be truly a terrible person to me and still get any form of control or respect. I do feel that my children are suffering emotional trauma. I also don't feel they are in any physical danger while they are with her. So, I ask what you would have me do. Go off on some childlike tangent that will only put me behind bars. Go kidnap my children and take them away while would also put me behind bars. Snap on her and get into a physical confrontation with either her or her current boyfriend John. Nope, I'm not being beta and I am nothing that resembles weak. If we met in person, I think you would agree with me. I am doing my utmost to preserve what's left of my sanity and self-esteem. Someone must be the adult in this. It will not be her, so it must be me. I think I will be rewarded in the future by my children's understanding of how I dealt with the situation and what kind of father I was to them as all of this was happening. She is the kids' mother and the right to do things and take them places. Do I agree with her taking them to John's house and spend the night? Hell no, and as a matter of fact I told John and my ex that what they do is up to them. When I don't want the kids to sleep at John's house. Good reason for this. I don't want my kids sleeping on his couch and then must watch their mother walk into John's bedroom. This happened. 2. I didn't want John in my house. Good reason for this also. I honestly don't know how I will react. I don't think I would react well. Anyway, he has been in my house a few times, just never while I was there. He broke the only 2 rules I made. I also think he was most likely forced into that situation by my STBX. But this will all be dealt with in good time. With 2 of the local family counselors that I have spoken with so far, they seem to think that both parents need to be on board. Trust me that my ex is not on board, as she thinks she could be nominated for Mother of the Year this year. She has already basically told my daughter that if I take them that means my daughter is crazy. When I tried to speak with her about it, she broke down in tears and cried big time. My wife doesn't want her in therapy. She prefers to fill the kid's head with her version of the truth. I tried to explain it different but she's 11 and just doesn't get it. I can just do it, but then I will really create a huge rift between my daughter and myself. Right now, with everything I am going through, I don't think I can handle that. The long-term benefits of both getting in counseling would be great. I honestly believe that. The short term it would be hell for me. My son hasn't acted this way but he's only 8. I don't know what to do really. I'm trying to think long term, but right now I need my kids. I need them to understand that I will always be there for them. By in my daughter's eyes, pushing her away is the last thing I want right now. I totally agree with you that they want peace at home. I have done as much as I can in regard to really trying to avoid my ex and keep that peace. However, you must understand how hard that is. I think somewhere down deep my ex feels that she has wronged me. She feels that she is at fault for breaking up the family and doing this to the kids. However, the draw of the affair is too great for her to fight it. She isn't being rational about this due to her midlife crisis or whatever. Her way of dealing with this guilt is to lash out at me and blame me for all her problems. Not some of but all her problems. By the way, it is textbook as to how she's acting. Trust me, I have read up a great deal about how she's acting. Wives that have affairs seem to follow a script, and she really is. They rewrite the history. I honestly think after all this reading, my ex is an extreme case. She was exposed at the age of 13 to her father's cheating. He took her along to meet his girlfriends and such. She is doing the same thing now to our kids. I'm all alone here in this big ocean and trying to navigate to land. Which way is up, down, left, or right? I am doing my best and trying to do this where one day I can look back and say I did it the best I could. That's why I reached out for help here. All my actions in this will have consequences. You must understand that I'm fighting a few wars on a few fronts. Ex-wife, kids, the divorce process, and work hasn't stopped its fair share of stress. The school, as far as both of their teachers know. Also, the school principal and the school counselor know the whole story. I speak with both of their teachers once a week by phone. I can see that you are a huge advocate of counseling. Some people are. I don't need to speak with anyone to get my children into counseling. I can do that on my own. You are of the opinion that it is like a cold. Take them to the doctor, get meds, and they are better. Doesn't happen like that. Counseling will most likely take 6 to 8 months for them to just break through the ice and get them talking. It is a very long, slow process that takes some time for the benefits to be realized. I think you're right that getting them in there now will start that process. I'm more concerned about how the kids, especially my daughter, will react. They will not take it well, as my ex has already told them it means they're crazy. My daughter thinks it is a nut house, straight jackets and padded cells. Now where did she get that info from? Me? No, she got that nonsense from my ex. Perhaps I should just do it even if it means my daughter's relationship with me will be bad for a while. Perhaps it will push my daughter away. My ex will use the therapy to push my kids away from me. That's the part that you just cannot see right now. I agree with you that they would benefit, but to which end? I'm glad you are an advocate for my kids and I read everything you say. I'm just not convinced yet. Maybe it is just me being stupid. I received a text from the ex at 1 a.m. She said that she will be leaving for the weekend at 2:30 right from work and that she will not be back until Monday morning. She knows that I work till 9 p.m. on Fridays. Also, the text said to make sure I take the dog out and to feed it. Here we go again with the poor dog. So, this morning I called the kids on the way to work. They both seemed fine and my wife was telling my son to tell me something. He just handed my ex the phone. Good, he's finally getting it. I tried to tell the kids that me and their mother will not talk to each other through the kids. So now they just put her on the phone. I told her that I would be there in the morning as it is my daughter's birthday. She didn't like that, but I don't care, it is her birthday and I want to make her breakfast. I also reminded her of a conversation that we had 2 months about the dog. She wanted the dog, so I told her that if she is going away for the weekend, then she needs to figure out the dog thing. She just said that I can duck myself and that if it has gone then it's my problem. Then she hung up. So, I think it might be time to either take the dog or look for a better home. It really isn't the poor dog's fault. She just cannot let go of her control even though she wants to let me go. It is just all bad. Today I am really stressed. The things that she is doing are just so horrible I cannot even imagine. Now she also expects everything in the divorce. I am certain that a quick and equitable divorce is not going to happen. I blame myself for trying to be kind. I think it is time to really fight this out. I really did not want things to go that way, but I must fight for me and my kids. She was real upset that I was here today as it is my daughter's 11th birthday. Last night she acted like a raving nut job, but at least the kids were in bed and did not have to witness it. Either way, I'm still happy that I was here for her 11th. She only gets one, and though it wasn't the family birthday she wanted, it is still better than nothing. I am debating dropping my current lawyer and hiring a pitbull attorney. At this point I think settling things is out and it is going to go all the way to trial. Maybe time to give that a week then decide. Well, we spoke for a while this morning after the kids got on the bus. I told her that what she wants in the divorce is nothing but absurd. I also told her that it isn't going to end quickly. In the end we will most likely end up with crap, but I'm willing to fight this out to the bitter end. She came back after speaking with John. So, she basically switched everything around from what we spoke of, and I think we may have come to an agreement. It is totally different from what we had originally discussed, but still fair. Biggest difference is she's planning on her and the kids moving in with John or living by him. I don't think she is positive about that yet. So, she does want to take the kids to Indiana. This is a plan that I have known about for a month or so. The kids have already told me this, I just didn't want to say anything until it all came out. I've already looking into the Indiana school system where they would attend school, and it's way better than where they go now. So educationally wise the kids would benefit. I just don't know about the whole 50 miles away thing. So, I would keep the house and she would get a cash settlement up front. Also, for that she would have to waive her right to maintenance or alimony. So, I called my lawyer and had him make the corrections. Then she called 1 hour later and said she was leaving work and going out to Indiana. She was crying hard. I wouldn't console her. She had plans tonight to take my daughter to cheerleading, but I guess whatever she has going on is more important. I'm off all day today at work, so I will take them out to dinner for her birthday and then take her to cheerleading. I think my STBX is now starting to realize that I really am done. I honestly think that up to now she thought all she had to do was snap and I would come running back. So, she going to feel that she's working without a net. She is. We will have to see how it all rolls out. The thought of OM in the same room. The thought of it haunts me. I mean that, it wakes me up in the middle of the night. My ex doesn't realize the long-term effects that will have on the kids. One day she will answer to the kids for what she has put them through. I spoke with my lawyer about her relocating 6 weeks ago. Truth is that she would win that in court. Sounds bad, but it is true. Facts are facts. She would get a job there and say it is the greatest job for her and the kids in the whole wide world. Another fact is the schools are better. Not kind of sort of, but way better if you believe state and national test results. So, I couldn't stop it even if I tried. Remember Illinois and I'm the male. I did tell her that if she is going to jump into a relationship that my kids must be a witness to, then I want to meet him face to face. She was very reluctant to it, but I told her it isn't negotiable. He has agreed to it. I just want to see what kind of guy he is, forget about even what's happened. I'm not worried about a physical confrontation. So far joint custody has never been an issue. I don't think she is planning on moving in with her BF. I think her plans are to purchase a condo. She told the kids this morning by phone what her plans were. Kids didn't take it well, but I offered again that they could stay with me. I think she's going to take the deal. I think I look at things a little different. The lawyer is there to guide me legally. He isn't there as make decisions for me and what my future are. The deal is up to me and what I want to do and what I'm willing to give up. Sure, if it comes down to a knockdown drag out, then I will make some changes to legal representation and go from there. I look at the agreement as a business decision, period. The kids' agreement is also a separate issue. Sure, it's fun to fight every detail out to the bitter end. I might even wind up with more plates and knives and forks. But at what cost? Another 25 to 30 grand is legal and court costs. It is really a simple mathematical equation to me. When this kind of thing happens to someone such as me, the normal reaction is to get angry and want to hurt that person any way that can be done, which is usually the divorce settlement. But the reality of it all is in the end both end up with less. I am trying to think long term here, not today. I'm pretty sure John is not on board of taking on my ex and 2 more kids. He has 3 of his own. We have the visitation schedule and holiday schedule figure out. Then it alternates the next year. I think it is fair. Also, we agreed that we could each claim 1 kid as a dependent on income tax. If she moves in with him, there are a million what-if questions. Soon, we will be legally divorced. Then what? Who will she live with? Where will she go? I don't have answers to any of those questions now. I have a hunch that John is a temporary thing. The affair started out bad and all the odds are against them, despite how much charm she has most likely turned on for him. The kids are and will always be worried. I believe that they don't really fit into her newfound 18-year-old lifestyle. I think she wants them for 2 real reasons. One is money. The other is, I don't think she could live without others. Her family would treat her as if she abandoned the kids. But if she has that part figured out, then I think she would leave them with me. Remember, for the last few years she feels that she has done it all. I did nothing for her, the kids, the house, or anything. She hasn't really been on her own yet. Right now, I have the kids half the time. I pay all the household bills. She thinks it is all great, really. Bills paid, free babysitter, and she is free to come and go as she pleases. But that will not really be her future when things come to an end, especially if she goes to Indiana. Like I have said many times, I'm in this thing alone and trying to make the best decisions for me and the kids. I think for the past few weeks she has really put huge pressure on John for them to move in. I suspect he isn't on that program. I honestly don't know. I was willing to give her the house free and clear so that the kids weren't uprooted. That's the only house they have ever known. Now she has decided that she wants to go a different direction. So, then I will buy her out of the house. It is sort of a financial push. Upfront will hurt, but if I decide to sell, then I would get it all back and then maybe a little more. I might just keep it. I like the security of the house that if she really flakes out and leaves the kids on my doorstep after her new make-believe life didn't work out as she imagined it would, then I have a place set up and ready for the kids. I wouldn't have a real skip a beat to get them back on track. I'm truly sorry for how she has handled this process. For months I tried to make her see reason. And the kids have suffered huge and the scars will be there from some time. I honestly believe the kids would be best off with me, but she will not go for that. The new deal we have worked out is her deal, not mine. So, I had the lawyer draw up the papers and let's see if she goes for it. The weekend went well. Once again it was my weekend with the kids and we celebrated my daughter's birthday. Many of my supportive family showed and I think my daughter felt special. On Sunday when we got home, I put the kids to bed and then my STBX was calling. She wanted to go through the marital settlement agreement so that we can come to an agreement and get it all wrapped up. She really was not picking everything to get the most, but I had to really draw a hard line in the sand. I still think she wants this done quickly and she is on a time frame, maybe fueled by the BF John. The last item, which I never suspected would be a hurdle in a million years, is once the divorce is finalized, she wants to continue to live that for 30 days. I really was thrown off by that. Remember, for the last 4 months us living in the same house has been nothing short of horrific. She has acted like a child, screaming, yelling, throwing things, and has never bite her tongue with all her hateful comments, some of which will leave scars on me and the kids. So, I reminded her of the situation and told her that it would be in everyone's best interest that after things are done, she goes. She has many options as to where stay with friends, or family, or even with the check I'm going to have to write her. She has plenty of cash to get a really nice hotel for the month. I also told her that it doesn't apply to the kids and they are welcome to stay if they wish. She wasn't really on board of that. So, then I said that she could stay for the month, however I would charge her $2,000 and then her settlement check will be put into an escrow account and any damage she causes while in the house for the 30 days will be deducted from that amount. She got even more upset by that. Maybe she doesn't understand what divorce means, but I do. She's been nasty and will continue to be if she continues to live there. Then she sprung this little gem on me that she needs to set things up with John and his family to help her move out. I told her under no uncertain terms, just I did 2 months ago, if John shows up, I'm calling the police, period. He isn't welcome there now or forever. She went totally ballistic and said, "What do you expect me to pay for movers?" I told her I could care less how she moves her things just so long as it isn't the OM. That's where we left things off, so let's see what today brings. It isn't about being mean, spiteful, or even vindictive. It's about I need to protect myself from what she may do. She could and most likely will raid the house of things that don't belong to her. If she has legal access to the house, there will be nothing that I could do to stop it. She may also cause some serious damage to things in a childish tantrum. Once she grabs things and they're gone, what would my recourse be? Almost nothing without legal action. I'm trying to protect myself here. If she agrees to my terms, she will not have access to the house if I'm not there. I will change the locks and prevent her from entry. I really am done. Not in June or even in July, but I am done with the marriage. It's dead and it's starting to stink up the place. Time to dig a hole and get it buried. And you better believe I love cliches. For the past few days, she has been rapidly packing things up. She met her BF yesterday and gave him a whole SUV load of things. She must be planning to move in with Johnny Boy. Last night was another dinger. She got home at 9:30 after taking my daughter to cheerleading practice. I was already in bed, yes, in the bedroom, as my back hurt from the couch the night before. She stormed into the room and started packing up the bathroom. I asked her to leave as I just wanted to sleep, but she wouldn't. She took an armload of things downstairs to box it, and I just up and closed and locked the door, turned out the light and went to bed. She comes upstairs and kicks the bedroom door in. Wood trim goes flying and everything. I took every ounce of self-control to not completely flip out. I was extremely upset. Then she went downstairs to finish packing, and then she threw a precious moment figurine into the family room wall. Huge gouge in the drywall. I should have just called the police but didn't. We are getting worse than War of the Roses now. It's totally out of control, and I must really decide if I want to let her take the kids to Indiana with the emotional state that she's in. I told her I would give her another $100,000 on top of the settlement if she leaves the kids with me forever, and I would agree to never asking her for child support. She told me she wouldn't. So, at this point I don't know where we are at, but I'm too angry to make life decisions, so I will back away from the whole settlement negotiations for a few days and cool off. I knew that when she decided to leave the house with me, she would be destructive, and she is. I think her plan is to move everything out now while we're still married, as she knows the day things are finalized, I will prevent access to the house. I can't imagine mine is a typical divorce. She must be a rare breed. This is some kind of past anger in her life that's coming back now to haunt me. I try not to think about it as what's happened, and after what she has done, I can't be concerned about her anymore. Choice now is custody battle or not. I'm a good guy at heart, and though it's time to get nasty with her, the kids will turn on me when they see their mother get arrested and cuffed. I'm torn between protecting myself and just being nasty. I went home early last night. She came home and we spoke for 45 minutes before the kids got home from school. First talk we have had in months that didn't end up in a fight. In the end, I told her that I don't want to stop her from living her life, but the kids are the priority to me. In the end, we both agreed the marriage and gone, and I wouldn't rehash what happened and who did what. I told her that she made a deal and then went back on her own deal. She admitted to me that her lawyer assured her that I would give her more to make it all go quick. I told her that her original offer was to make it go quick. We came to a new agreement and little bit less than the original for her damage that she caused. So, we basically have it all agreed. She will get it all drawn up. Hopefully, this will go quick, as I now know that she wants out quickly. She admitted to me that her and John were in a very serious relationship and were in love. I told her I hope so, as she is making a huge commitment with a man she has only known for 2 months. I told her that I'm concerned as my kids will be there as well. In the end, I will have the house, and when it all blows up in her face, the kids will always have some place to go. I will get their rooms set up after they move to Indiana, as I anticipate that they will be back in the next year. I can't imagine that my ex's new fling, which started off how it did under those terms, will go well. This gut John has his own children, and with them all under one roof, I can only imagine the stress of it all. I don't think either one of them has thought it through. My son will have his own room, but my daughter will share a room with John's daughter. My goal right now is to get the divorce finalized. Sounds easy, doesn't it? Just go to court and then they both come home with me. That's not the reality. I have done a massive amount of research and consulted with 2 very expensive and no attorneys that specialize in father's rights and custody battles. After they had all the facts, my chances are about 3%. I worked and my STBX stayed at home to care for the kids. That's 85% of the battle that I have already lost. Money, which I do have more of, isn't a factor. I do feel that they would be better off with me and would grow up to be much smarter and better human beings. Facts are the facts. Sounds easy, but a 3-year custody battle is bad on everyone involved. I've decided it's time to give my ex enough X and let her X herself. I'm going to end up with them anyway. I think my ex realizes 2 important things. 1, I won't be strong-armed by her lawyer, and 2, I'm not afraid to go to trial. Trial will cost us each another $25,000 in legal fees. I told her if her lawyer gets her to change the deal, then it's all off and we go to trial. I told my ex last night that this is the last chance for a settlement. I meant every word. I really investigated it. She has everything to get custodianship of the kids. Joint custody she has agreed to since the very beginning. I'm a good father. I have always been a good father, but I did work 75 hours a week. My ex has been the primary caregiver of the children for most of their lives. That's the truth. I will never get full custody based on the information that has happened. Not to say my ex won't flip out next week and do something to change that, but at this point it's a losing battle. This isn't about winning, it's about what is best for the kids. I think I'm best for them, but how do you convince a judge of that? Let's just say I'm optimistic but still cautious. I think the current deal will go through. The only thing that I can think of that would kill the deal is if her and John had a breakup. Her attitude toward me has been great since our little talk on Thursday. I'm going to keep the peace and keep the ball going down the field. I don't think we have many yards left. Well, I wrote here a few weeks ago that things would heat up as far as the divorce progress, and it has. Tuesday was our first court appearance, which was basically BS. It has now been changed to approve up. The agreements have all been made and we should be all done by Tuesday at noon. I'm 99% sure that it's all done. The only snag now would be if her and John got into a real serious fight. After court, she will come back to the house to finish moving the furniture that is hers, and then she will go to Indiana for good. Kids start school on Wednesday. Wednesday I drove out to Indiana and met with the school principal and the kids' soon-to-be teachers. I believe they will both get a much higher level of education than where they are now. Cross all of you finger and wish me luck. As of Tuesday, at 10:10 a.m. the divorce is final. The whole thing in court took about 6 minutes. Directly after court she raced home and moved out all her things. John was there with his son and his son's friends. I pulled up about an hour after the fact. I went right from court and retitled the house right then and there. When I got home the move was in full swing. John was standing on the street and never came on my property or came into the house. I pulled up and seen him standing there but didn't say a word. Went in and made sure that she just took her things. My dad got there about 10 minutes after and we just sat and talked about court and didn't speak to any of them. Then about 10 minutes after that the police came. My ex called them and said there was going to be trouble. I explained everything to the officer and he then realized that everything was fine. My dad is a retired police officer and then he left. Maybe my ex thought I would start something with John, but that wasn't going to happen as long as he is staying away from me. By 12:30 they were all gone. I would like to tell you that after 16 years together she said final words. She said nothing in court, after court, or at the house. Through the whole ordeal she never looked for a resolution to anything. So, I feel pretty confident that the marriage was totally unsalvageable. Oh well, I didn't say anything to her either. After she left the house, she went to the kids' school to get them and then they all went to Indiana. They started their new school Wednesday. I speak to them every day and they so far seem good. Busy with getting things unpacked and stuff like that. Of course, the kids are the victims in all this. They will continue to hurt for a while. I would love to tell you that I was just going to keep dragging this whole ordeal out for 3 to 5 years and bankrupt us both with legal fees all in the good name of the kids. What then? Would the ultimate outcome be any different? People are going to pay for my kids. Or should I become a public aid recipient and have our great country pay for my wife affairs? Maybe then at least I would vote to re-elect our current president. He likes those votes. Bottom line is my concern is for them, and I also think it's safe to say I'm also concerned for myself. You can't possibly grasp the situation that I was in with the complete nut job she was. She pushed the limits of my self-control right to the brink. It's had to end and end fast for everyone's sake. I think it's safe to say that it isn't over yet, only the marriage is. You say the money is my concern and not them. Well, maybe that's true in a sense that now at least I have the ability and the means to support them financially as I always have. 7 weeks since the divorce has been finalized. The kids are adjusting to the new school. After going to the school and meeting the teachers, I still feel that they will be getting a much better education. My son is doing best of the two. He is a lot better of going with the flow. My daughter and her mother have been having battles. My daughter now must adjust to sharing a room with John's daughter, which is only 3 nights a week as she stays with John's ex-wife most of the time. John's daughter is the baby in the family and is used to being treated that way. She and my daughter share their fair share of turmoil. The visitation so far is working out great. On my weekends she is still meeting me halfway and has been on time for the most part. I go every other week all the way there to take them out for dinner. Both of my kids still hope that me and my ex will reconcile in the future, but I try to tell them that's most likely not going to happen. My ex hasn't changed her tune toward me in any way. She is still as nasty as ever, but what she says doesn't mean anything anymore. She still does things to simply annoy me, such as she took my son to the doctor for a checkup and paid cash, then expects my half of the bill. I guess the Blue Cross Blue Shield that I have isn't good enough. But other than the nonsense, all is going well. My comment, tell me what you guys feel about this ending. At least OP does not have to deal with this nasty person anymore, and he might have a new chance in his life. You agree? Subscribe, comment down, and I will start working on the next one.